Welcome to the Cultivating Health Equity Stories podcast. In this captivating series, we delve into the heart of health equity, sharing stories that illuminate the path toward a fairer, more inclusive healthcare landscape. Our mission is to amplify voices, challenge norms, and inspire change. Here is your host, Dr. Throy Campbell, a research scientist on health equity issues.
Today, we are honored to introduce Arthur Bendolph Jr., a prostate cancer survivor, Air Force veteran, and the visionary leader of ACOF Incorporated, a grassroots non-profit organization dedicated to eradicating prostate cancer. Arthur's journey with prostate cancer is deeply personal, as his family has long battled the disease. His grandfather, father, and uncle all faced prostate cancer, and more recently, his two brothers were diagnosed and are now cancer-free. He aims to promote early detection, eliminate stigma, and advocate for equitable access to medical services. Arthur, you are an inspiring person. You have an inspiring story. Welcome to our podcast. How are you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me today. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. And I want to learn a little about your background to start off our conversation. So can you tell us just a little about life before cancer?
I guess my 30-second elevator speech would be from a place called Pritchett, Alabama, within Mobile, Alabama. Joined the Air Force, had a career in the Air Force, left the Air Force and found myself in human resources in various companies. Moved to the city of Jacksonville, worked for them for a few years, and ended up teaching leadership in corporate America. Kind of a transition. I was a senior and non-commissioned officer, so I guess it just naturally rose to the top. So I was going around teaching leadership for companies and helping C-suite employees connect with their employees.
Yeah.
And decided to take it easy, and 3 months later, got diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah. Cancer has a way to steal into one's life, But thanks for sharing. And I ask because, cancer, it's a lived experience, and it changes our lives in ways beyond our imagination. And we'll learn more about your background as we go forward in the conversation. So can you share your initial reaction upon receiving your prostate cancer diagnosis? Take us there to when you learn and a little before, perhaps.
I went to the doctor, regular general practice, told me my PSA was a little high. I didn't even know what PSA was at that. Prostate specific antigen. It was a regular annual physical. It's about June, July. I blew it off a couple of months. Did MRI. They said, it don't look like nothing. Blew it off a couple more months. And the doctor told me it don't look like nothing. The MRI, he couldn't tell. It was a 3 may be something, may not be nothing. So I woke up one morning and said, I think it was God told me, you better call the doctor. I called the doctor and said, yeah, let's do that biopsy. Because I had totally blew it off.
Oh.
God must put it on my heart, and we did a biopsy. Even at the biopsy, the doctor said, it looked pretty clean, so I don't think then I'll call you in about a week or so and tell you the result. But it looked pretty smooth, so you're pretty okay. So it was like the 1st of November. So I didn't think about it no more. Doctor said it looked good. And Thanksgiving night, I was sitting in my after football went off, sitting in my office with my brother-in-law, family all around. And I messed around and opened up, because I thought I ain't heard from that doctor. Opened up an online portal and found out that it's this big word, endocarcinoma. I didn't know what it was. So I Googled it, and right there, about 10 o'clock Thanksgiving night, I found out in front of my brother-in-law that I had prostate cancer.
Yeah. So there you are, enjoying life with family. And it came to your mind, let me check on the results for the test. You went on the hospital online portal and found out. That must have been a shock.
It's like a ton of bricks hit you And I didn't want my brother to be the first one to find out that. And so I played it off like I hadn't seen anything. He was doing stuff on his phone, so I didn't say nothing, and I was trying to mask my emotion, but it felt like a brick had just collapsed on me, and I was like, "Can you have a million thoughts?" Feel like at that time, at that moment, I was like, I got cancer.
So did you say you didn't want to share it with your brother-in-law right there? Who you shared it with?
At that moment, I swallowed it. I pretty much said, because I had my brother-in-law and a couple of my wife's family over, so I didn't say anything because they were in the other room having a good time. So I really didn't. I just sat there and started researching, what does this mean? What does India and what does it mean? Started looking at the results and Googling and looking at results, trying to find out what everything meant. And I didn't tell anybody that moment. First person I told was, of course, my wife, but that was like later that night after everybody went to bed, like 11, 12 o'clock that night. And I said, hey, I need to talk to you. So I told her.
Hmm. Was that the veteran in you? I mean, that must have been, again, such a devastating moment. However, I guess you wanted to collect yourself first, right? Before sharing with others.
I wanted my partner, my wife, to know. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But I was not panicked. It was more of, okay, it's a journey because I have a strong relationship with God, and I just felt like it was, okay, if it's my turn, I led a good life. You see cancer, I led a good life, and I've done what you want me to do, or you want me to do something else. So I wasn't totally like panicking or nothing, but I was freaked out.
Yeah. You call on your religion, you call on your God, and you say, Lord, I need you here. Is that what you're saying too?
Yeah, I think God's here everywhere, but I kind of said, God, what do you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you want me to do with this? I mean, what do you want me to do with this? I mean, is okay, if whatever, I'm ready. And
Yeah.
he just brought a calm over me, and I was able to mask it and wait and talk to my wife about it, and it was all good. After the hardest part was telling her.
Yeah.
And
it's a true test of who we are, and let's carry on with your journey, and I will circle back because it's really a test of who you are to that point, and it changes you as a person going forward. As a Gulf War veteran, how has that experience influenced your approach to battling cancer?
It gave me a sense of control. Even when everything's out of control, you got to control what you can, and that's what you find out in combat or whatever. You just control what you can, and panicking don't help. I was ready to control what I could, and God had given me that gift that realized that you have gifts, and you got to control yourself first. I can't control, not at this moment, I can't control this cancer.
Yeah.
I needed to identify what I could control. My reaction, my attitude, my belief, my knowledge of the disease.
And you kind of evaluate what's important from what's not in life, right?
Yeah, it did. One thing about cancer, it puts priorities in place real fast. You ever had a problem prioritizing? It puts all the priorities. If you got a million problems, then you find out you got cancer, you got one problem. Cancer changed my life, and I would never say I'm thankful because I had cancer.
Yeah.
But I am grateful that I'm able to share my journey. And one thing cancer taught me was, I was on a path to You know, my whole life, if you will, chasing the next move, chasing the next accomplishment, uh, steady climbing, uh, finances, everything. Want to get to the next level, whatever the
Yeah.
next level is. Uh, it taught me that your most, I already knew it, I think, but I don't think, your most valuable resource is time.
Yeah.
And I was actually selling my time for money and not valuing it. Just was taking
Yeah.
it for granted. And maybe that was the lesson God wanted me to know, that I need
Yeah.
you to do something bigger. I need you to do something bigger than personal. I need you to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. We can share a laugh now as we just did, but and we're happy because you're a survivor. But there are many who struggles
Yeah.
and continue to struggle. And as you've said, cancer cause you to evaluate your priorities and think, what is going to happen today? What's going to happen tomorrow? What do I need? What do I need to do?
I've spoken to a lot of cancer survivors, and I personally like it. From my journey, that's a misnomer about cancer. Cancer is an ugly, terrible disease. And throughout my journey, the treatment, the whole thing, I wasn't sure that I want to tell people because they want that woo, woo, all that sadness over me. I remember telling my wife during the whole treatment, I just want to laugh. Just want to laugh.
Yeah.
And so not only did I do what I had to do, read out, but I watched a lot of old funny movies. I just wanted to laugh. I mean, I was thinking if I laugh, it'll be better. And as I started to laugh watching 20, 30, 40-year-old movies, I gained strength through those movies.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that old ho hum. Them old movies that I had seen since 1980s, they were hilarious. Seeing them again, I just wanted to laugh. Cancer will challenge everything in your core, and it's like a rabbit hole. And if you live in the cancer, you think nothing but cancer. I just wanted to laugh, and the laughter empowered me. It was God's way, in my opinion. It was God's way of pulling me out that hole.
Yeah.
Pulling me out that hole and say, okay, stand up. You got something to do. I gave you talents. You got something to do. And it inspired me to actually take control of my journey. I mean,
and perhaps what you're saying here is that look for what brings you joy. Look for what gives you a positive approach to dealing with the deadly disease. And that's one of the takeaways I'm getting from what you're saying here, Arthur. Yeah.
But after I found out, after I started watching movies and I just started researching, I knew God was putting this thing on my heart that don't turn over responsibility to nobody else. Get the best doctors, get the best treatment, believe in shared decision making. Things I did, I didn't understand it all. I'm from Alabama, I didn't understand everything, but I read enough to know the questions I needed to know the answers to. And
so there are, we love our doctors and we respect their professions, and they are the authority in the medical field.
Yeah.
But you're saying, be there for yourself, educate yourself, understand the journey.
Yeah. There's no reason why you should be ashamed or afraid to ask your doctor any question. We're dealing with your life. So you got to ask your doctor hard questions. So I went through a couple of doctors. I went to multiple doctors because I was asking the hard questions. And some of them didn't like being challenged. I looked at the journey, and I'm not saying this right. That's why we're advocating for a shared decision. When I looked for a doctor that was my subject matter expert, yes, not a field, but any subject expert, if I plumber come to my house, I'm going to question that plumber and ask, are there alternative ways? And
Yeah.
is your way the best way, and you don't give me a straight answer, I'm gonna have doubts. And I was getting mixed answers. So I
Yeah.
said, I went to a few doctors. I said, I need doctors to give me 2 consecutive answers. I went to a few of them, I was getting all kinds of answers. And I kind of did enough research, I knew the answer I wanted. So I finally got 2 doctors to match on the state. After that,
Yeah, go ahead.
I started researching treatments.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know.
So research and educate yourself, and it's your body. The doctor has many patients dealing with, and you have to make sure that your issues are addressed. The statistics are out there. They show that cancer knows no skin color and no age, and you as a veteran, as a strong Black man, find yourself with this illness. And I know that's your passion today, Arthur, to advocate for Black men to check out their health and follow through and try to live a healthy life. Now, how did you feel as a Black person in when you were seeking proper treatment? The question is, did your color come into play? I know some find that very sensitive to ask, but I feel comfortable asking you that question.
That's a fair question because with prostate cancer, yeah, it is. It's a factor in prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's normally 1 in 8 men, but in Black men, it's 1 in 5, 1 in 6. So
there you go.
it's predominantly in our community. Did I see a lot of Black men? No, I didn't. I mean, I went to a lot of places. I finally ended up with University of Florida Proton,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I saw one other Black guy out of a lot of people in there. And that was really pushed me to become an advocate because even more so, I didn't see anybody Black.
Mm.
And I'm like, if we are the majority of the disease, why don't we know about it? And
right.
So I had to dig inside myself. I was like, that was almost, if you will, a bad analogy. I call it Kettle Black because my dad had it for 30 years. My granddad had it. I didn't even know at that point that he died from it because they told us he died of cancer. You never had it. And my uncle died of it, and all of that happened under my nose. I wasn't even aware. They use words like man cancer. Oh, he got this cancer. Nobody talked about it. And,
yeah. It's important to get to know your family history. It's good to pass information on. We encourage everyone to get to know about your dad, your grandparents, your uncles, and their health history. And you're a testament here because you say your family has a history of this cancer. Your grandfather,
yep,
and your uncles,
dad,
and recently 2 uncles,
2 brothers,
2 brothers.
2 brothers. I just recently had another cousin pass from prostate cancer.
Oh.
So it's rapid in my family. And what I find, since I've been advocating for it, is it's rapid in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a Black man thing, but we don't talk about health. We don't talk about what we need to be doing. We don't talk about, maybe it's seen as a weakness, because, but it's not a weakness, but it is tough.
We think we're strong. The world has a stigma that Black men are tough and they can overcome all adversaries and all sort of disease, but it's not true. And that's why early detection is important, right?
Absolutely. With early detection, it's a 99, you catch before stage 3, 99% cure rate. We're talking cure. After that, it drops about 31%. That's significant. All we got to do is talk about it. Talk about it. But I get it because at a moment in my journey, after I told my wife, I wasn't even sure what I was going to tell my kids, who's adults now. I wasn't even sure because I didn't want to make nobody sad, nobody looking down on me. Maybe the weakness thing was in the back of my mind, but I was like, I ain't sure. I don't want to tell nobody. I don't want everybody going, ooh, poor you. So
Yeah.
at that moment, it hit me. Maybe it was God. I don't know what. It hit me. Why are you ashamed? You did nothing wrong. Why are you ashamed? And I looked at my wife and asked that question. I was like, why do I feel ashamed? I did nothing wrong. And she said, you shouldn't be ashamed. I said, I feel ashamed like I should hide this. And I did nothing wrong.
Yeah. So what's your approach to the brother? Of course, they get comfortable easily because they see that one who looks like them is relating information to them. But what's your approach? What's the message?
My approach is stigma is killing. Embarrassment is killing. We gotta get to the doctor. We gotta ask the question. And it's an easy analogy of transition for me
Mm-hmm.
because most men, there are a large number of black men, are in the vehicle. They are in the vehicle. Whether they like cars. Might be different kind of cars they like. So if you break it down to that level, when we talk about cars, we're like, and I'll do it with you. If
Yeah.
your check engine light come on, what do you do?
Mm.
What do you do? And that's your PSA test. What do you do when your check engine light? A lot of people keep driving. It could be it may not be nothing but your gas cap, but it could be your engine. You need to get it checked out. And that's what I advocate that don't drive that car with that check engine light on. Because something made it come on. Something made it come on.
Maybe too late. I
Yeah.
like your analogy. And you go to the car mechanic, you service your car, you change the oil, you set your meter, and you're watching the car as it gets closer to 3,000 miles or perhaps 5,000 miles, depending on the type of car. So don't wait until the check engine light pops up. It's been 2,900 miles now since I serviced my car, right? Since I've been alive on this earth. Let me go and check myself out. Yeah.
And
I had a friend just recently said, you know what, I need to postpone my annual checkup. And I said, what? Why would you do that? He said, it's Christmas and I really don't have the time to go and do that. I said, you don't do that to your car, right? You don't do that to anything else in your life. So you're feeling good. You feel like you can check, the person has insurance,
yeah.
but yet they want to skip their annual checkup because it's in the midst of the Christmas season. And we're advocating here today that you don't do that, especially when you're at a certain age.
Absolutely. Because black men should be getting tested at 40.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking the difference from maybe a 1-year journey and be cured and then you can start rebuilding, or you got to live the rest of your life with this dreaded disease, with medicines and all that other stuff. Early detection is the key. And it's only a blood test. The PSA is a blood test. Just like when they run your cholesterol, they're going to run your PSA. It's not, PSA does not mean that you have prostate cancer, but it does let you know something's going on. Maybe BPA, maybe a lot of stuff, maybe nothing like that gas cap. But it's that signal that, wait a minute, my check engine light just flashed on.
Yeah.
Can we do a little deeper diagnostic to find out why this light flashing on my car? At least with my car, it's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah.
I grew up without a lot of cash, so we had old cars that had lights on. My first car was a Pinto. It had lights everywhere. My pet peeve is to see a light coming on in the car. If you're in the car with the dash lit up with that red light, that runs me crazy. I can't drive that car.
So true, man. So true. Now, let's talk about community. You mentioned your immediate family, your in-laws. How important is community in supporting one another in this cancer journey?
You got to have a community. You got to have a support system. You got to have people showing love. I mean, you got to have it. This is not the journey for you to just say, I'm a man, I can do it by myself.
Yeah.
Because you will have your lows. You'll have your moment of lows. Because the truth is, when you think about your own mortality, it is sad. You look about what you won't see, think about what you won't get. You need to know that there are people in your lives that got your back. You
Yeah.
can't do it. You fight as long as you can, and then you take a break. I got you.
Yeah.
And whatever community, you got to have a community. You got to have your inside team and your outside team saying good things.
Yeah. So you saw out of your experience, you saw the need for community, and that's one of your motivation for forming your nonprofit organization, right? Can you tell us a little bit about how this organization came about and your motivation for doing it?
Well, the organization came about because I was going through the treatment, and like you said, didn't see many black men. The men I met was white men, and we had great conversation. And I was like, I didn't know nothing about prostate cancer.
Mm.
Why didn't I know about prostate cancer? Why was this not even on my page? So as I started going around and people were asking questions, aren't you sick? You don't look sick. You don't look. So I felt the need that I needed to be that somebody. I
Right.
looked in the mirror one day and I said, somebody need to do something. I lost half my family with this disease. I don't even know. Somebody need to do something. Somebody need to be talking about this. Somebody need to do something. And then God brought it to me. You are somebody.
Mm.
And God said, you are somebody. You can do something. And, instead of saying somebody, so it hit me. It was like, so I can save a few lives. I might not be able to save the world, but I can save a few
You
lives.
know, it's one person who become the president at a time. If we save one person, we save a lot. We all, it's important that we tell one tell one, and if you can tell more than one, it's important. It helps.
I had that aha moment, man. I think it was God that said, you are somebody.
Yeah.
I wanted to say like everybody else. Somebody need to be advertising it. Somebody need to be talking about this. Somebody need to. You are somebody. Make a difference.
Yeah. And you also believe that it's crucial to create a space where men feel safe to discuss their health. Again, we men think it's okay to discuss soccer, cars, you name it. But we should find spaces to discuss openly our health situations.
And I provide that space through forums, meetings. One thing I found out about men, you start the conversation, they're going to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
Once they see there's trust and there's no embarrassment or stigma, they open up. Because the truth is, as you age, we all go through the same journey. Some may have a turn this way, because if you stay here long enough on this earth, you're going to have to battle illness. Nobody who's ever stayed here a long, long time didn't have to overcome illness. If you stay here long enough, it's going to be illness. And the way you combat that illness is early detection. Get your annual physical. Go do what you need to do. Because I know most men I talk to say, I don't want to know. Well, you want to know when you almost dead? Because right now you can go short term and fix it.
Yeah. We're going to include in the show notes information on your organization. So what initiatives has your organization implemented to foster such a supportive environment for Black men?
We've done community forums live and in person. This year we are for such a grassroots. We put some lofty goals in front of us. Our goal is to provide 1,500 men with their PSA results.
Mm-hmm.
Have documented minimum of 1,500 men who has PSA results. That's double from what we were even thinking of last year. But we're going to get 1,500 men. We have 3 community events and 3 online forums.
Yeah.
So the online forums is a great tool because you get to listen. You can have camera without camera. You get to listen. You get to ask questions. And better yet, what's the best part of the online forum is the sidebar. People will IM you and ask you, can we talk offline? And you form relationships. And those relationships push people to the doctor.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's our initiative, to get 1,500 men diagnosed, 1,500 men PSA tested in 2025 and actually support them and let them know that whatever they need, we're there. Because I don't want to have a cookie cutter approach to every man. Because every man, even though the disease has certain characteristics, every man's journey is different.
Right.
And we customize to each person. What do you need? And we just want to be there.
I know you're also on social media promoting early detection for Black men to come together and take care of their health, especially with regard to prostate cancer. Now, to get back to your personal story, Arthur, how has cancer transformed your life and instilled a sense of purpose in you?
It is my purpose now to make my life meaningful to somebody else, because it's not about the things you can accumulate or the success you have or the status. It's about lifting other people up. It's about making sure that dad's there for their family. It's about, for me, being a prostate advocate, screaming it at as loud as I can.
Yeah.
Is my ministry.
Yeah.
I'm not a preacher, but that's my ministry. When you want to talk about it, let's talk. I preach to group. I used to preach to thousands about leadership.
Yeah.
And I've just taken that mentality, the gifts God give me, and I've taken it to prostate cancer. It's my ministry. I want to tell men that it'll be okay, because I need you there with your family. I need you there with your sons. I need you healthy. I need you there. And nobody else seems to care. I care, because I've been there. I know the fear. I know what it's like looking at your child and say, I don't want to see my grandchildren grow up. I don't want to see this. But you got to do this.
I appreciate how you let your spirituality into this conversation, because, and if I might say, Jesus went around helping those who were ill. He healed those with leprosy and the blind. One might not be of this spiritual affiliation, but the point we're making here is it's a worthy cause to help our fellow men to find healing, because when you touch the Father, you touch the family. When you touch a husband, you touch a family.
I totally agree. I think God has given us so many gifts and so many talents that we only use a slight fractions of the gifts God gives us. It's our job to try to maximize them. And I think so many people just don't realize they're gifted, they're needed with their family, that they're leading their family. One of the things I do talk to men about leadership, about their family, because if you're sick, you can't be an effective leader. Men typically worry about everybody in the family. You can't lead anyone if you're not right.
Yeah.
So you need to get your annual checkup, check your PSA, because if you're sick, you can't lead.
Right.
And usually that perks up their ears. What do you mean? How can you be not okay, and you think your family's going to be okay? So you got to take care of yourself first.
Yeah. I want to draw a line under a point you're making, how cancer refines your purpose, because you lived with purpose before cancer.
Yes.
But it refines your purpose and gives you another focus. Because there are many cancer survivors, many patients now struggling with the disease, feeling everything they've had just gone. But while you can't change the fact that you're a cancer survivor, you can help someone you can find purpose in advocating and being there for others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an ugly disease, and I'm not making light of cancer at all. It's an ugly disease. But inside of the storm is strength. And my strength came from Jesus, God. That's where my strength came from. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that you got to find that strength. Stop. You got to find that strength with God, Jesus, whatever. You got to find it and have that relationship. And for me, it probably was a little easier because I felt I had a great relationship with God before the cancer. I don't think that, I don't want to get real religious on it, but the God I serve is not necessarily subscribed to the prosperity gospel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear a lot of men and other people say, just put it in God's hand. Yeah, but after you've done everything you're supposed to do, put it in God's hand. God's going to hold your hand, you pray. But the idea that I just pray and then don't do nothing was not in my soul. And a lot of people think, like, I prayed on it, I'm okay. That's cool. But did God give you God gave you a large number of gifts. It's your responsibility to team with God. Because God's going to lead you to the road. But to the water, whatever. He can't make you drink. So you got to use those gifts. And
Yeah.
whatever gifts you have.
We find, and for the cancer survivor, you could say that one's body is fighting against you.
It is.
But the truth is, you're more than your body, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're a spiritual person. You have to not let your body overcome you and be what God wants you to be. Be a stronger person. Rise up. Stand up.
And that takes deep faith because a lot of people believe they are their body. They are their body. So that takes deep belief. So
it does, and it's difficult. You know, you've lost your uterus. You've lost. We're speaking of women or your breasts.
Yeah.
And you're losing your womanhood or your manhood, your beauty, and it's a challenge mentally. But what we're saying here, believe you're more than that. You have been more than that before your illness, and that which you believe you might have to hold on to now, so you can move forward and be perhaps the person that God calls you to be. It's a very difficult point because God loves me and I have this type of disease. What are you saying, Throy?
Job was challenged. You got to believe that God puts you through everything to make you stronger, to make you may be redirecting your path. You got to believe that there is a meaning to everything. And if you look backwards, you'll see the plan, how it played out. But if you live in that moment, you have no idea what's going on. So, God has the plan. You just got to believe that and do your part. When the plan don't execute, it's not God most of the time. I mean, God has a plan. It may not work your way. But a lot of the times, it's us not doing what God told us to do, too.
Yeah.
If you're going into a doctor's office with cancer, doc just fix me. I don't do that with my car. Don't do that with my house. You don't tell me what's wrong with it. And he ain't gonna say, whatever you do, just fix it. No, I need to be involved. I need to actually. You're my subject matter expert. You know what's going on. But trust me, I got 61 years experience with this body, and I know what this body does. So we're gonna work together, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm willing to do, and you give me I'm paying you to give me your advice, but I got to be the final decision maker. May not be the right one, but guess what? I'm the only one that lives with consequences. I make the wrong one. Let's be God. I mean, I got to believe, but I'm going to make sure I'm educated. make sure I looked at my sources, make sure I'm knowledgeable enough. Because not only did I read every journal, I became an avid reader of everything about prostate. Not only did I do that, I can't tell you the number of groups, people, resources I tapped into. Not that they were right, because there are some crazy groups out there, and it is. I ain't endorsing, but a lot of them gave me questions to ask, and a lot of them gave me just thoughts that don't make sense. I won't do that.
Yeah.
It was like brainstorming. It was like when you're brainstorming, your goal in brainstorming is not to edit or censor anything. You take in all knowledge. You take in it all. And then after you get it, you start throwing, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. All opinions count because you're just trying to gain knowledge.
Yeah.
The dumbest opinion, it'll make you look up and be like, that's dumb. What made them say that? And you'll research to prove that it's wrong. If you may trip into something that you're like, hey, I ain't know this. That's the way I approach it.
Information is power.
Yeah.
You know, I am just happy you had the time to be on our platform and you've shared invaluable information. You're a testament of someone who has found a true purpose through the adversity of cancer. And so what are your future goals for your nonprofit organization? I think you mentioned that earlier. You want to help 1,500 men to be screened for 2025.
In the far future, I would like to actually have a resource across the country. 10 years from now, I would like to have branches where men can come in and just talk. Local branches where cancer survivors actually set up and just talk.
Yeah.
And reach out to the community. And that's the goal. But I would like to just have local franchises where you just say, if you get a diagnosis and you don't know where to start, we'll show you the path.
Yeah. How can listeners support your mission?
Spreading our word on social media, share our website. You can donate to our cause because 1,500 tests is going to be expensive. You can volunteer your time, like when we do the forums, you can volunteer your time to the end. But sharing Defeat Cancer, cancers.com or acofinc.com on social media is big because that gets the word out to thousands. That's how you really can do it. If you want to see men early detection, please donate. Think about donating.
Yeah. It's a worthy cause, and we appreciate your time. We appreciate what you have committed your life to doing to help others through the whole early detection process. And we wish you continued success and that you might be able to achieve your vision, Mr. Bendolph.
God. Yeah. Your strength comes from God.
Yes.
So I believe that. So Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me today. I love your podcast. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Cultivating Health Equity Stories. Remember, our mission is to amplify voices, challenge norms, and inspire change. Go to cultivatehealthequity.com, sign up on our email list, subscribe for future episodes, and find the resources mentioned in the show notes. Until next time.